Hi guys, so today I have a matte gray and brown gold cut crease kind of smoky eye look for you today. And I'm going to start by priming my lids as always with the Milani eyeshadow primer. I'm just using my fingers to pat that on the lid and into the crease up to the brow bone, anywhere we're going to put eyeshadow. And then I'm going to set it with the Maybelline Shine Free Loose Powder in the shade Light, just to make shadows a little bit easier to blend over the primer and so they all don't stick in one place as soon as I apply them. All my brushes in this video are from BH Cosmetics, and then there's one Morphe brush as well. So I'm going to take this I Heart Obsession palette by I Heart Makeup, and it's in the shade Born to Die. And I'm also going to take that TheBalm Meet Matt Nude palette, and I'm going to take that light brown shade and apply it to my crease. These are the first palettes that I'm going to use for today's look. I'm starting with that orangey brown from the Balm's Meet Matte Nude palette. I think it's Matte Sing or Sung, or I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that. But I'm taking that with a fluffy brush and using it as my transition color all over the crease. Then I'm taking my Morphe M168 brush and that I Heart Obsession palette. I'm taking the matte dark gray in the lower corner, and I'm going to start mapping out my cut crease. This brush is a really dense bullet crease brush, and I honestly don't know how I ever did a cut crease on my hooded eyes without it in the past. It makes life so much easier. And I'm taking that dark gray and I'm just taking it up into the transition color and making my sideways or outer V, really defining that outer edge with the dark gray. And this is the darkest gray I'm going to use today. And then I'm going over it with a fluffy blending brush to blend it all out, and with the transition color a bit there. See, I'm just taking it and drawing it into my outer V to define it, taking it through the lower part of my crease, and then I'm going to end up buffing it out with a blending brush again. This does take a little bit of time and a little bit of building. I'm trying to be very precise with that crease brush. And I do make my cut creases a little above my natural crease since I do have hooded eyes. This makes my eyelids look bigger for the lid shade, you know, to stand out more prominently. It also evens out my eyelids because I have one eye that's slightly more hooded than the other. So I use this trick to hide it, so to speak. Just blending, building it up to the dark consistency that I want. And then from my Meet Matte Nudes palette, I'm going to take this gray shade called Abdul with the same bullet brush, and I'm going to fill in that V we created with the darker gray, and also take it into that dark gray a bit, also into the lower crease, kind of making a little triangle like that, about a third of the way across the lid, maybe a little less. And then I'm also going to buff that out with a fluffy blending brush. This is my favorite gray color in the world, just to let you know. I bought this palette specifically for that gray color. Next, I'm taking the shade Matte Garcia from the same palette on that bullet brush, and I'm going to apply it to the edge of the Abdul shade, slightly into the lower crease again, and more on the eyelid, more on the middle of the lid, from that gray towards the middle. This is to warm up our eye a bit. I liked having the transition between the brown and the gray. That's also why we used a warm tone transition color, because the gold's going to be a warm color gold, but yet I wanted the cool gray, so that's how I combined the two. Now I'm taking a Colourpop Super Shock shadow in the shade Lovely. It is my favorite gold shade by Colourpop. Now I'm taking that on a small shader brush and applying it to the inner 1/3 of my eye, from about the inner corner to the middle of the lid. And I'm going to blend it a little bit with a fluffy brush. I'm not putting this in the inner corner as a highlight though. It's staying strictly on the lid and strictly below that cut crease we created. But yeah, I am taking it over the Matte Garcia shade a bit. And if my voice sounds a bit raspy, I'm sorry, I'm fighting a cold right now, and this is a little more difficult than it should be. So I'm really building up that Colourpop shadow there and then blending it out with a fluffy brush a little bit. I usually apply those with my finger, but I wanted to be precise, so. Then I'm taking the Matte Malloy shade from the palette and applying that under the brow bone. This is a very stark white color, like it really highlights the brow bone, and that's what I'm using it here for today, also to kind of blend out my crease shadows. And I'm also using it as a highlight for my inner corner. It's a very, very matte white. And I'm taking a little bit of Matte Garcia on a angled brush and applying that very close to the lower lash line. Almost like an eyeliner, but it's that nice warm brown we used earlier for the lid and crease. And I'm also going to take on my bulleted brush, my bullet crease brush, the Matte Abdul gray shade and apply it under the Matte Garcia to have a nice blend there for the lower lash line. And then I'm just going to go in with a gel liner, gel pencil liner from Physicians Formula and apply that in the waterline. Next, I'm taking my Wet n Wild liquid liner and applying it to the upper lash line. Very, very close to the lashes. I don't want a thick line. A very, very thin line of liner. Really no wing either, just strictly on the lid. And then I went in with a Wet n Wild mascara and eyelash curler to, you know, put some mascara on my upper lashes and my lower lashes. I never really filmed that. I also want to mention that this is the, I think it's like 861 liquid liner in Blackest Black or Very Black. I'll post it down below. Now, as you can see, I'm going in with a Colourpop liquid lipstick, matte liquid lipstick in the shade Tulle, Tulle. It's like the perfect fall color, more like a brownish red. Sorry, I'm not good at staying in frame with that, but I'm just evening that up with the doe foot applicator. And here is the final result. I hope you guys like that makeup look. Let me know if you ever want me to include my foundation or brow routine. I usually just leave that out because it's more of a personal preference thing. But this is the combination of the Warm and Cold Combo Glittery Eye Look with the burgundy lips. I actually think it turned out really well. I was happy that my blending skills were at a high enough level that I could accomplish blending the cool and warm shadows into a successful eye look for you guys. And like I said, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye!